Good morning and welcome to Knowing Bayelsa, a live online chat with the key players of the Governor Henry Seriake Dickson led Restoration Administration. My name is Ibegi Princess, and with us here today is the Managing Director of the Bayelsa State Drug Distribution Center, Ms. Tamaraotare Owota Johnson. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
I also want to welcome our online viewers and urge you all to please send in your comments and questions through this platform. You can also send in your questions through direct SMS to the numbers currently being displayed on your screen. So, Madam, as the Managing Director of the Bayelsa State Drug Distribution Center, what does the facility do in terms of operations?
Okay, in terms of operation, before then, can I just quickly introduce the company?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. The Bayelsa State Drug Distribution Center, the BSDDC, is an offshoot of the National Drug Distribution Guidelines enacted by the federal government of Nigeria. Now, we can trace the origin of the BSDDC to the conversation between the late Professor Dora Akonyili and His Excellency Governor Seriake Dickson. At the time, this was more than 5 years ago, he was the only one that bought into this policy, and that's the reality we see today. So that's for the introduction of the BSDDC. Now, why we are here, our purpose is to make sure that top quality drugs are available to the healthcare facilities in the state. Not just top quality drugs, we're talking about cost effective also. It's a bit hard to merge the two, but we've been able to do that. And so we supply to both the public healthcare facilities as well as the private healthcare sector. That's one of the purposes. Then the second is to actually make sure that the influx of fake and substandard drugs are brought down to a minimum, I would say. It's hard to totally eradicate that, but are brought down to a minimum so that the end users are getting optimum drugs, top quality, I mean. And then the third is to make sure that how do I explain this now? The state has a well-ordered drug distribution system as opposed to the chaotic open markets, and that has been in a while for this country. So that's why we're here, to make sure that everything is well ordered. There is an audit trail from the suppliers down to the end users.
Okay, that's fine. You while you were giving your brief introduction, you mentioned something like checkmating and as well as top quality drug circulation. And so in that respect, I just wanted to ask a question. The menace of drug abuse, like the tramadol, the codeine, and all of that. I don't know what your facility, is putting in place to at least curb or try to manage such as by making sure that these drugs is being restricted, like preventing the complete access from the private users out there. So.
Okay, that's why I said that. Now, this doesn't totally rest on us, but we have a role to play. Because one, we get our supplies directly from the manufacturers and the importers. That's why I said there is an audit trail.
Okay.
And then for facilities coming to buy from us, we just don't sell controlled substances to any and anybody who comes.
Yeah.
Even with the prescription, that prescription has to be signed. And then we have our poison books. So we're limiting certain drugs to certain regulated bodies to sell and licensed premises to sell. That's one.
And this will definitely get to regulate the abuse and the use.
Yes, because not everybody will have access to that. But a lot of this depends on the closure of the open markets. I hope you are aware.
That's very true. Okay. I think currently the drug math is like the major distribution center in Bayelsa here for both the public sector and the private one as well. So what is the marketing strategy? Because I believe up to now, some persons still don't know that this facility actually exists. Even those who know it does exist still don't, get to believe the authenticity of the products you have there. So what is the marketing strategy?
Okay. Before that, please, we like to call it the BSDDC. Yes, no longer Drug Max. That's the brand. Okay, now for the marketing strategy, we have Team A and Team B. These are the power engine of the BSDDC, and they go to separate axes in the state and tell them, they sell the BSDDC to them that this is what we do, this is why we're here, this is how we achieve what we achieve. But you see, that is a bit limited because how many axes can we cover in Yenegua? So we would like to say thank you first to the Ministry of Information. They've been able to do a media coverage for us, and right now they're doing a tremendous work. We're talking about jingles on radio, billboards, and even social media.
So, like what we're doing now.
Okay, yes, that's what. So we believe that with this, our facilities, both public and private, in the hinterlands, will get to know why we're here, and they get to know that yes, indeed, they can key into this, and we supply them. So these are the various marketing strategies we have. And then from the hinterlands, we have a lot of, we will have representatives from these different areas so that we can actually supply them, because it's a bit harder for us to get to this place.
Especially those places that are not yet accessible by road.
Yes, accessible by road. We've been able to divide them into axis segments. We have the Yenegua, and then we have the outside Yenegua, the motorable and non-motorable. I don't know if you need me to go into, into that. Yeah. Okay, the axis for the motorable outside Yenegua, we have the Okoama, we have the Okolobiri, and Amasoma. We have the Galabiri, Bedebiri, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
And we have the Sabageria. Yes, Sabageria people, they're really wonderful. They're excited that we're here, and we've seen a lot of difference for the Sabageria people. Then that's for the non-motorable, for the motorable. Then for the non-motorable, we have the brass. And we do supply to Nembe also, we deliver to them. Then for brass, what we do is that we take to the jetty at specified periods. We have different routes we cover daily. We take to the jetty at specified period by them, and then they come for the pickup. Then for the Yenegua axis, Azikoro, Tombia, Ibogene, I think Opolo, and one other place, we divided them into axes also. So we do supply them. Our vans does that, and then the marketing team also.
All right, that's fine. Well, in terms of patronage, I don't know what's been the level of success you've been able to, achieve so far.
Let me think very well. In terms of patronage, I would say there is a very good patronage, especially from the private sector. Yes, a lot of them. We're talking about retail pharmacies, private hospitals, private clinics, and patent medicine dealers. Bayelsa State has over 500 patent medicine stores here, both registered and unregistered. Yes. Okay. So we try to include them also, so that they are a part of us, because we know that some retail pharmacies can't get to these areas. Yes. But the patent medicine dealers, they do. So what we do is that we want them to have this top quality drugs at cost-effective prices. So we do go there. So the patronage, and this we see from our daily and weekly reports, and also feedback. Which is we will say yes. And then the hospitals will tell you, Okolobiri, Daitepoki, and family support. They'll tell you that their stock level has actually increased because
So there's now much availability of drugs when needed because of the facility, being located here in Bayelsa. Well, as a government-owned, facility, you get patronage from the public and the private, sector as well. Well, I wanted to say, is there a policy, that mandates the public sector, especially, to say they must actually get their medical supplies from the drug distribution center to ensure top quality drug circulation?
Okay. Yes, there is a policy in place. Okay. And we're in the process of implementing the policy. But really, we would need the Ministry of Health to implement. I can't implement
Of course,
this policy. It's up to the Ministry of Health to
yeah.
implement.
Yeah.
And implementation also means that there must be sanctions. Let's not just write policies and then we don't implement. We're trying to implement there are some defaulters and then we're not sanctioning them. It's only when we sanction A, B, C that yes, they'll know that we're here for business. We're here to make the BSDDC grow. We're here to make Bayelsa State grow. Very few states have distribution centers. We have in Bayelsa State here. That's what His Excellency has done. It's not named after him. It's not named after me.
It's for
it is
the
for the people in the state.
Yes.
Something we can all grow and live for the generations to come. We should, I wouldn't say I think, we should be proud of the BSDDC and other healthcare integrated system His Excellency has in place.
Okay. So for now, it is not yet mandatory. It's a work in progress. We could say that.
It is mandatory. It is already mandatory. Immediately the policy was signed into effect, it became mandatory. We just need to enforce it.
Oh, so it is now about the enforcement. That's the issue we're having right now.
Enforce and sanction. Those two things.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we get to hope that our public and government-owned medical facilities and agencies get to patronize our drug distribution center, because obviously they have the best quality of it all around here. Okay, well, that's fine. Quickly, I want to say you're doing a very good job. Obviously, I would say that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so so far, on the scale of say a scorecard or something, I know the challenges are there as well. But can you say you've done well, as per your office as the managing director, as the facility being able to serve a purpose, If not, how do you think you would have been able to do better?
So that's a tough question. Well, I won't give it any rating for now because I think that's too early. But I will say as a managing director, well, I'm not doing that alone. We have a team, the BSDDC has a team. I mentioned the marketing team. They actually did the sales activation and they're the ones bringing in the money. Kudos to them. And then the procurement officer, I'll give her an A+. She's wonderful. Then the customer care HOD, she's fantastic because she does the customer retention and makes sure that apart from customers just coming in, we do retain them. Those that we're not seeing, we do call them and ask why we're not seeing them. We get the feedback and we improve. So it's not just me. I have a team that I'm directing and guiding so that we can achieve our vision. But as for me, I would say that I would say, well, I have my days. There are some days that I do think that, we are off to a good start. And there are some days I think we are barely scratching the surface. So I know that it's a process improvement and I know that we'll do better. But I encourage myself that whatever support I need, God has said He will not leave me without support. So wherever the support is coming from, the support will surely come. But I believe we can do better. For instance, our network, customers complain that we see the time interval between them sending in their requisition and us actually picking and packing the drugs. Delivery is not a problem, but it's just that time lapse between sending the requisition,
yes, and
then actually packing it. It's too long. We can shorten that process. We can make it better.
Okay.
And so I would say that we're off to a good start. But like I said, we can do better. And I encourage myself also that there's no nation that was built in a day. It's the earth was not created in one day. So.
Very true. That's fine. Madam, we have a question from an online viewer, and it says, "It's how is your company linked to the Bayelsa Health Insurance scheme?
Okay,
if it is."
Yes, it is linked. Like I said, it's a fully integrated system that His Excellency is doing. Talk about procurement and supply of drugs and you having your drugs to end users. We do supply the BHIS drugs to these public healthcare facilities and also private. There are some private hospitals, they are BHIS accredited. So we supply to them. So yes, there is a link.
Okay, so I think this will help in, handling that problem of patronage, where you said the policy is there, but you're having issues with the enforcement. So if the Bayelsa insurance scheme says you get your prescription, you have to get your drugs, and then I don't know, is there that kind of link? Those drug, the prescription ensures that they get it from the drug mafia or something?
No, the individuals can't come to us to procure. It's not right. We'll put a lot of people out of business.
But the
and
hospitals,
that's not what His Excellency wants.
Yeah.
Bayelsa should grow, including everybody should be balanced. The hospitals, the registered premises, retail pharmacies, even NGOs, they want to do outreach programs. They do come to us because they have seen also that it's actually affordable, and then we also supply some things to them for free just to support them in the outreach programs. So the Bayelsa Health Insurance Scheme, they are quite good. They are good. They have this monitoring team that goes to the hospitals, yes, to make sure they do their hands on. They're trying to get feedback, so that they know how well their patients are getting their drugs and if they're not really getting the drugs.
Okay. All right. I think we'll be coming to a close for this episode this morning. Well, lastly, before we leave, I don't know, I would just like you to say something in respect to the menace of drug abuse. For this taking the tramadol, the codeine, and all of that. Obviously, it's been doing a lot. People going crazy and all of that. So I would really like you to say something to our viewers out there.
Okay, what I would like to say is the same thing we've been saying all this while. Everybody has a role to play. I have a role to play. You have a role to play. It's not just government. The government will play their own role. But what are we doing? And, we've spoken to the registered pharmacies, even patent medicine stores. I believe that the media, you guys are media, you should create this awareness. Maybe have a program, something that can help the ordinary man know that, look, you are your brother's keeper.
I've been doing that.
Okay, you've been doing that. Yes,
it's never been enough.
It can never really be enough, but you have to continue.
Yeah.
And I would like to say the pharmacists, we are talking to them that let's not look at it from the profit angle alone. Because these controlled substances, they sell and they sell well, and there's a lot of profit. Let's look at the fact that these are ethical drugs, these are controlled substances, and we should uphold our profession very well, and then do the best we can. And even the BSDDC, like I said, we have an audit trail. You can't just say because you're a public healthcare facility, you walk in and say you want to buy tramadol. No, for all we know, you may divert the tramadol elsewhere. So we need that audit trail from you. And then we'll like the youth. I don't know why people would generally want to truncate their lives.
It's just so funny, All right. Okay, I think just the last one, from an online viewer as well. You're here for them, obviously.
Okay.
So what about the Trado medical herbs? Do you also supply those?
No, we don't. It's Trado medical. All they do is herbs and leaves, which has a place in the society, but that's not for us. We deal with orthodox.
Okay, strictly orthodox. Okay, that's fine. Well, it's been a very pleasant and beautiful morning with you. I really appreciate you being here with us. And we also appreciate you, our online viewers. We'll be here tomorrow, same time. And so we urge you to keep a date with us. Bye.